Hey, is it your dream to actually go and study in the UK, especially from my previous video where you can study a top-up degree there? Then this video is definitely for you. We're going to look at what you require to prepare for your visa. And one of the things I'll talk about today would be a car statement, the financial evidence you need to produce or to show, the proof of relationship you need to show in terms of the person funding you. On top of that, we're going to look at a consent letter that is normally required. We're also going to look at the test, the health test required, as well as the academic credentials, together with the visa, how to fill the visa application form. Stay tuned to the end of the channel. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in today. In case you're new here, my name is Pauline Esther, and this channel is for anyone who has a dream to study abroad, where I assist you to submit the applications, work on your visa, and even book accommodation for you in whichever country that you'd like to apply to, as well as anyone who loves to travel, because oh boy, I do love to travel, and I'm always glad to share my travel stories as well as my vlogs with you. Here we go. Now for the UK, it's pretty quite, and I don't want to call it easy, but it's one of the places where you can easily apply for a student visa and qualify for one, and it's not such a hassle to even get the visa. Now we're going to look at what you require, and to begin with, you need to get ready with your confirmation of acceptance of study. That is what is referred to as a CAS statement. All right, so the CAS statement is normally provided after you've accepted your offer and after you've provided the English proficiency results. All right, so it's actually a document, it's a formal confirmation from a UK university confirming that you have fully achieved the conditions that were mentioned on the offer letter. Remember the process I shared with you on the whole application process. All right, so after that, the document is actually valid for 6 months. What that means is that you have at least 6 months to prepare and start the next steps as per the document, and it actually can be used once for each visa application. So what does that mean? That you cannot use a car statement for a previous application, school application to university A, and then you want to apply to go to university B using the same car statement. All right, so for any visa refusal, you have to request a fresh car statement from the school. So let's say you applied to Brunel University, you accepted the offer and met all the conditions on the offer letter. They sent you what we call the car statement, but on your visa application, you got a rejection or a refusal. Then in this case, we have to request a fresh car statement from the school. Right, so the other thing you need to prepare is the financial evidence, and for this, even from the onset, we normally advise you to prepare your bank statement, and the bank statement is what captures proof of capability to finance yourself in terms of the living expenses together with the tuition fee balance. Because remember, at the initial step, for you to get the car statement, you'll have to have paid a deposit of your fee, of your tuition fee, to accept your offer. So the tuition fee should capture the living expenses, and the balance of your tuition fee. Remember, if you're going to be living outside London, the living expenses would be about 9,400 GBP. Or if you're living inside London, it would have to be more expensive. It comes to up about 13,100 GBP. Remember that you should have the account should have the funds should have been in the account for a minimum period of 28 days before submitting the visa, nothing less than 28 days. So if you get a change in your account within the 28 days, we start counting afresh for other 28 days. Okay, so that is something that you put in mind. And the funds can only be in an account if it's your parent who's funding you. That's okay, as long as we can prove the relationship between you and the person who's funding you. This is where we talk about the proof of relationship. Now, in this case, if the account statement issue does not belong to you, the student, then a birth certificate needs to be provided to prove the relationship of the student with the sponsor, who in this case could be the parent. If it's your spouse actually, and it's your spouse who's actually funding your studies, then you need to show the marriage certificate or supporting documents to show that they are indeed your spouse. And also copies of the IDs or passports would be required to be submitted along with the application. The other thing we would require you to provide during the visa application stage would be a consent in form of just permission from the account holder giving the applicant access to the funds. So it's quite easy. They will just mention your name, the applicant's name, the school you'll be attending, their relationship with you, and how much that the account holder is allowing you to use, or how much they are contributing towards. That could be maybe travel costs, annual tuition fees, or even the living expenses. And the letter should be signed by the account holder. All right. The letter should be actually addressed to the visa entry clearance officer, the visa section, and all of that is something that will guide you on. So nothing to worry. I'm just mentioning these things so you can prepare ahead of time. The other thing you'd require is certain health checks such as a TB, chest x-ray. That's normally done at the International Office of Immigration located in Gigiri. Can always guide you on how to go about that, because you have to book online to begin with, and then the test is actually valid for 6 months upon issuance of that certificate. So the test, or the TB test, would cost you about 14,000 Kenya shillings, and it's payable via till at the center when you go to IOM. Now, at this point, you need to carry your original passport on the appointment day, so don't you forget that. Okay. Now, the other thing you need to prepare for your visa would have to be, of course, the academic credentials. The same documents we use to apply for your application or to submit your application is what I mean by academic credentials. But also on top of that, the CAS statement will mention the documents to be provided. So that means even before you get to that stage, we'll normally guide you on how to prepare the relevant documents at this point. So remember, you need to fill in a visa application form, and the form is very much self-explanatory and guided, so nothing much to actually worry about. So of course you will have to make a health insurance payment according to the duration of your study, together with the visa application fee. So the visa application fee, or the visa fee, is about 474 US dollars. Then the health insurance comes up to 705 GBP for 1 year, up to almost 2,115 GBP for those taking programs going up to 4 years. So it can range from 700 to 2,000 GBP depending on the duration of your course. All right. Now, the other thing is that you're gonna have to prepare yourself to attend a visa interview. But for most Kenyan applicants, this might not even be necessary. But you have some instances where you have to sit through an interview. So the common questions to be asked would definitely be, what is the source of your funds? And you have to be able to articulate that very clearly. You have to mention about the question. Another question that would be addressed at this point would be the study program, and you should know all the details pertaining the course that you're going to study, as well as the school, and even sometimes the location. Right. The other details that would be requested for you, or that you'd be required to answer during this interview session, would be accommodation details, and you should know all the details pertaining your accommodation. Now, I'd like to conclude by saying that the turnaround time for a student visa application to the UK will take approximately 3 weeks, 15 working days. And remember that there are options to consider in terms of the priority visa application service, that they sometimes process the application within a week, and this is an extra 300. This will cost you an extra 300 US dollars on top of the visa fees. This could be in the event that maybe the classes are starting sooner and you need that visa to be placed as a priority visa. All right. The other thing is that once the visa has been issued, then you'll get a 3 months sticker, after which you get a BRP, or a biometric resident permit card, once you get to the country. Uh, this is not something that I want you to get worried about in case you don't meet any of the things I've mentioned there. What I'd like you to do is make sure you reach out to me, because I'd be glad to assist you with the whole entire application process from the word go remember, we work on that, including your visa as well. So it's gonna be quite easy for you, because what you'll be doing is just committing and having me assist you. I'll be glad to do that. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. Make sure you share this information with anyone looking, or anyone who's interested to study in the UK, because I'd be glad to help them with that application process. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to keep on the lookout for my next video. As for now, bye bye.